Hello, Dr. Alan Harper here, your secure vibe coder. And we are going to do another session of live secure vibe coding. We are developing an app. We call it User Vibes OS. And the idea of this app is to gather users' signals or vibes that they throw off throughout their user journey lifecycle in an app. So what we do is we offer developers a one-stop shop so that they can set up and receive these vibes from the user as they interact with their server or with their site throughout their life cycle, right? Now we're focusing on the ideate, which is the feature request functionality. And I see people have already joined us. Drop me a hello, tell me you're here. Appreciate it. And tell me where you're from. And so we're focused on the ideate portion right here, and that's the feature request functionality. And the reason for that is there's not a lot of competition in this space, and the competition is very weak and vulnerable. Okay, so we already have a working prototype that's better than most of the competition. I've played with theirs. Their interface is not very flexible for feature request. They don't let you configure it. You don't get any analytics on the back end, and we already have all of that. Okay, so we're going to disrupt the market by jumping in right here. Hey, 3Ds. And then what we're probably going to do is move around this way and pick up these other functions. These four over here have already been done pretty well by the likes of like Go High Level. And so, but they haven't put the rest of it together. So they're vulnerable in that sense as well. So that's the market and the app and what we're trying to do. Okay, now this app has a front end to it, and that's a JavaScript widget that a developer can drop into their website in less than 1 minute. That's the goal. Okay, and then what they will be able to do is sign up for our service on a landing page. We'll take a payment from them. Then they'll have a dashboard where they'll have analytics and metrics about all of these vibes that are coming in. Again, initially, we're just going to work on the feature request vibe right here. Okay, the ideate. And then once they get in the dashboard, they can set up an API key. And then we store everything in Convex, which is a real-time database. We really like that. And that allows us to simplify our backend. All right, now there's two types of API keys. We have private or public and private. I'm going to call this one secret because that's what we're calling it in the site. So public and secret. Okay. And these keys are not cryptographically linked, by the way. So this is not like public key encryption, right? These are just two API keys that have been randomly generated for us. One we can use in public places, like such as, on a website in the browser. It's okay if that public key is exposed. And in fact, we assume that it will be picked up by an attacker and used against us. Okay, so that's what a public API key is for. A private API key is different. Okay, it's only to be used on the backend server. It's never to be exposed on the browser. That's very, very important. That's a very important security principle, and that's what we're all about here on this channel is secure vibe coding, right? You can learn from other people how to do vibe coding, but they won't even talk about security, frankly, because they don't know. Okay, and so that's the difference about us. And so thank you again for joining. You can find more information about us up in the QR code there in the link down below. All right, so we have two modes that we're working on here, okay? And I'm going to adjust this a little bit to make it more clear, okay? So we have what we'll call tier 1 mode of security mode. And that is where the end user serves up our widget and it connects directly from the browser straight to us. Okay, in that case, what we're going to do is use the public key. Okay. All right, now we can still do some things. We assume that key is going to be, copied out of that browser and used elsewhere. We can do some things like rate limiting. We're going to do like some origin whitelisting, but these are all just speed bumps, frankly. So this is a low security mode, And some users want that. They just want speed and convenience, and this is the easy way to do it. Okay. And then we're going to have a second tier because we are secure vibe coders, right? And this one's proving more tricky for us to set up on our end, but that's okay. We are not afraid. So we are building a tier 2 security mode, and that's going to use the secret key. Now, we're going to change the way it's currently working. We already currently have it working. We debugged it last night and got it working. But I've been thinking about it. I don't really like how it's working. It's kind of a little too complicated, frankly. And it doesn't need to be all that complicated. So tonight we're going to kind of rewrite all of that and simplify some things. And I'm going to kind of explain that. All right. And the way that'll work is it'll be through what's called a proxy server. So our end user who comes to our dashboard and gets the API keys and such, we're going to give them instructions so that they know how to implement a proxy server on their end. Okay, and that's what makes it more complicated. So now the browser will come to their server, and we don't have to put anything in the browser. We don't have to put any API keys at all. Okay, and what will happen is, actually, the secret key stays over here. What will happen is we will use the public key over here. And what we would do is we will request on the fly from our server that we get a JWT token. Okay, let me put that here. Okay, so that goes to a JWT token. And then we're going to use that JWT token in the header of our packets from then on out between their server and ours. Okay. Now, the reason why we want to use the public key and make that request to the JWT token, so what's going to happen is they're going to fire off a request to us and they're going to say, here's our public key. And the reason why we want to do that is that public key identifies them. So on the server, what we'll do is we'll look up that public key. We're also going to pass the project ID so that we know what to look up. So on our side, what we're going to do is look in our Convex database, and we're going to look up the project and then the project ID, and then we're going to validate that the public key that they sent us matches the one we have in our database. Okay, that's step one. Then what we're going to do is we're going to generate a JWT token for them, and we're going to sign it with their secret key, which is also in our database. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to send that JWT token back to them, and they will use that from then on out until that token expires. It will expire after 5 minutes. And then what will happen is we'll instruct the user how to regenerate a token and go from there. All right, so that's a much simpler process and frankly more secure, because now we don't have to put anything, including the public API key, down at the client level. Even though it's public and we could sacrifice it, so to speak, why bother? And why even expose that if we don't have to? So I think it's a much cleaner approach, and that's what we're going to try to set up tonight, okay? So it's a 2-tier. So tier 1's already working, that's trivial, okay? What we're focused on now is tier 2, okay? Now, in order to do that, what I've done is I've saved, let me explain something. I've saved all of our code, both on our server and on our little test server, and I've saved it up to GitHub. So like, we're going to go down this road, and if it becomes a mess, then we'll just revert. We'll just punch out and we'll revert and we'll try something different. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the code bases here. All right. So we have, earlier today, I was just messing around with the document, but I'm not going to use that. So I'm not worried about it. So we have everything checked in except for this one document, which we aren't even going to need now, because in fact, what I'm going to do is discard. Well, I'm going to go ahead and check that in as well, just so we have it, keep things clean. Okay, and then what I'll show you is over here, we have nothing outstanding, nothing in what's called staged files. So we have a clean repos, right? Our repositories are clean. They've been updated and saved. They're ready for us to experiment. Now, when we get more complicated down the road, what we would do typically, if like we have a more sophisticated code base, at this point would be a good point to make a branch. we call this a feature branch. Okay, but that's just overcomplicating things, and we're just single developers here with us and AI, right? So when you get a bigger team and you have like a more complex project, then I would teach you how to do, and we will get more complex here as we go. And I'll start using branches and when it's appropriate. Okay. But I'm not going to overcomplicate things for you right now. It's just not necessary. Okay. All right. Good to go. All right. How's the sound going out there, guys? Music levels good? Thumbs up. Hey, if you've joined up me tonight, go ahead and drop me a hello, so I know where you're from. I'd appreciate it. Okay. All right. So here we go. Here's what we're going to do. Inside of the, see, this is our test site. You can always tell at the top. And then I'm going to flip over here to our User Vibes OS. Okay. Now, we originally called this repo User Vibe OS, but now we've rechanged the name to User Vibes OS. So don't be confused by that. Okay. Hey, thanks, 3Ds. All right. So here we go, guys. We're going to start jamming. We're going to start vibe coding, right? Buckle up. Now, what I've done here is I've taken and I've created a Notepad doc. And what I'm going to do is drop this into the chat session here. In fact, what I'm going to do, matter of fact, I'm going to exit this and get a clean session. Because we have learned that Claude gets dumber over time. If you fill up the context and you get more than half of it filled up, you're just, you're asking for trouble. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste in 23 lines, but let me show you what those 23 lines look like. Give me 1 second. Okay, here's what they look like. Okay, and what I'm going to do is read these to you really quick, or just at least let you see them. Let me make this bigger. I know that was small. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to say, hey, I want to simplify things. I want to replace the JWT mode, which we currently have in our settings, with a tier 1 or tier 2 security mode toggle in the User Vibes OS settings, explaining the difference. Okay. Then for tier 1, I want to accept client requests directly to our server with the public key and the URL. Simple. Okay. But we're going to keep the existing rate limiting, behavioral tracking, and also say origin checking, behavioral tracking, and also our security monitoring page, which is pretty slick, right? We don't want it to delete that. All right. And then what we're going to do for tier 2, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. For tier 2 security mode, we want to enforce JWT tokens, that's Java Web Tokens, in the header authentication bearer field. Okay. Responding with invalid JWT token if expired or missing. Okay. Only web, and matter of fact, what I'll do is call that a 401 error if it's expired or missing. Only the web component and npm embed instruction should be allowed for tier 2, not the iframe. There's no way to protect this stuff with an iframe. But when we're using like the web component and the npm install, then we can protect, like we can have this proxy situation. Okay. On the user server, have a simple component. It looks like this. Okay. And we only want them to be able to, or have to pass, like the project ID, the mode, and perhaps any commands. Which is like feature, voting, and comments, etc. Okay. So we want to keep it simple from the end user's browser perspective. We don't want to give the attacker any information or ammo if we can help it. Okay. Then on the user server, perform these simple proxy steps for every request. Okay. All right. And on initial request, request that user Vibes OS generate a JWT token with the public API key. Okay. I want them to use our backend convex routes and existing and setting a 5-minute expiration. Okay. And single use field in DB. Okay. Number 2, second step is send the request now back to our server with that JWT token in the header authentication bearer field. Okay. Number 3, request the widget project ID and mode and information such as, okay, hold on a second. Pass the request with widget project ID and mode and command information such as vote, comment, delete, etc. Okay. And then number 4, relay that widget response back. Okay. That widget response, I'll put in here just to clarify, from user Vibes OS back to the end user client browser without needing to share the JWT token, API keys, or any route URLs. Okay. Keep all of that on the server. So all identifying information is kept on the server and not disclosed to the end user browser, except for the project ID, the mode, and the commands. Okay. So very clear to it. All right. Now, okay, hold on a second. Now pass the request to user. Okay, wait a second. Inside that request, pass the widget project ID, etc. Okay, all right. There we go. All right, now one more statement or a couple more statements down here. On the user Vibe OS side, on our side, we need to validate the project ID's public API key and generate the JWT token using the project ID's secret key. Okay, and set 5-minute expiration and set it as not used in the database. Okay, so we want this to be a one-time use JWT token. I know that that's a little bit complicated, but just hang with me here. Okay, we want those JWT tokens to not be reusable. So again, if somebody comes across one in the future, like tomorrow or 5 minutes from now, like we don't want that to be reusable. Okay, it's best practice. Then upon request received in the widget, we validate the JWT token and mark it used in the database so that subsequent validations for that token fail. And then lastly here, create a new plan for this and add to a new doc as a simple 2-tier security modes plan, including code snippets and instructions to put in the embedded page for the user, including instructions to retry on a 401 error token expired. Okay, and how to handle that public API key on the server only. Okay, I want to keep the client instructions to a bare minimum and make this work, or a bare minimum to make this work and keep it simple. Okay, very important. All right, so here we go. So we take all of this, Control C, move this out of the way, go back down here and clear that out. Okay, Control V, okay, 26 lines now, and bam. Okay, so all that got pasted in. Okay, just like that. Now let's let it cook. Now this is a change. So what it's going to do is it's going to create some new files, some new routes. That's fine. And then when it's done with that, I'm going to tell it to delete all the stuff that wasn't related to this new plan. Okay, because we've got a mess on the servers now. We've got like all this extra bloated code. All right. Hey, I see we got some new people here joining from Nairobi, Kenya. All right. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. 3Ds is from South Africa. Okay. All right, guys, we're cooking. Who else has joined us? Drop me a note. Let me know where you're from. Also, drop any questions you have in the post here. Some of you are dropping into the middle of these streams. We've been at this this is our 11th day, 12th day. I'm losing track. But we do about an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours a night. We just get to a good breaking point, right? I'd like to wrap this one up on time tonight at an hour if I can. And then what we do is, so for about, let's just call it 15 to 20 hours, we've been at this. And we already have a functioning prototype. It's pretty darn good. While this thing's cooking, I'll flip back over here and use the time wisely, catch some people up. We are building this app. It's called User Vibes OS. And we own .ai and .com. Not sure which one we're going to use yet. Okay, hey, 12th day, thanks. And what the purpose of this is, a one-stop shop for developers to collect user feedback throughout the user journey lifecycle while they're with the app. Okay, and there's no good method to do that right now. You have to, like, this is several products that you have to cobble together as a developer. Well, we're going to make it easy for them. We're going to have a single place where they can collect all this feedback. Now we're focusing right here on the blue box. That's the feature request functionality, because that's kind of underserved right now by these other competitors. And the ones that do this, they do it poorly. So we're gonna disrupt their market, and then we're gonna start working around this way until we have the complete picture and we disrupt everybody. We are taking over, folks. So we're gonna launch this big, complicated product, but we're gonna eat this elephant one bite at a time. All right. Okay. Movie End says, how do you get Claude to create a good UI? I'm struggling with that. Yeah, it could be challenging. Look, one of the things you can do, I just heard this on a video today or yesterday. There's a new Claude skill. By the way, we use Claude Code and we love Claude skills. Do a little research. Maybe somebody drop a link in here. There's a new Claude skill for UI, and it's made by Anthropic, and you can get it from the Anthropic marketplace. And that will help. It'll spruce up your AI, your interface. We might do the same. But what I found is it does a pretty good job inside of Claude Code if you tell it what to do. Another trick that you can do is you can build it like on another tool like Figma, or like a lot of people like Builder.io or something. You can build a pretty snazzy user interface there that looks really good. And then you can download those files and put them into Claude Code, or you can just point Claude Code to that repo and say, hey, I want you to replicate exactly what's over in this project into this new project. So these are tricks that I've done, how to get a good looking UI. Look, that's a matter of taste, and some are better than others. But like I'll show you what our UI looks like. And by the way, this comes free out of the box. I have a project called Secure Vibe Code OS, Secure Vibe Coding OS. You find it out on GitHub. Here's the link. Just Google it up, Harper AA and Secure Vibe Coding OS. And this right here, when you install it, it takes about 10. It'll probably take you 20 minutes to install your first time. It takes me about 10. And it comes with security batteries included. All this stuff right here is security stuff. I added that. I forked this library, and then I added all of this stuff for you. And the instructions are here of how to install it, and it has a pretty good user interface in it. Let me show it to you. Okay, when you go to it, I'm gonna click on the homepage here. It has a hero section here. We'll update this once we update our backend, but that's what our backend currently sort of looks like. We will update these images. These are like placeholders, but you can see it's responsive. Stuff moves as you scroll. And then we have the ability to accept payments out of the box. We use Clerk for that, and subscriptions with Stripe. And then we have testimonials, all of this out of the box. And check this out. Like when you click in here, it like lights up these dots. I hope you can see that. That's kind of cool. When you click off of it, they go away. That's kind of neat. You get all of this, and oh, by the way, you get a really snazzy like 401 to 404 error. So like, check this out. Look at this. How's that for a user interface? Pretty cool. That all comes included with the kit. Okay, and it's most importantly a secure foundation, right? It's got all the security batteries included. And on the back end, when you log in, you sign up and log in, it has a really snazzy dashboard like this. And every app that you build, you're going to need some type of dashboard on the back to collect statistics or just something for the user. And you'll customize this. These are just placeholders, but you can see it's pretty snazzy. You know, by the way, it's got a dark mode included. Look at that. Look at that 3Ds. I know you were asking for that. And all of that is out of the box. I gave it to you. I created this repo called Secure Vibe Coding OS. So just go pick that up. And right here, you also find more information about me. I have a Secure Vibe Coding Masterclass that you can sign up for inside of my free mentoring. You can find my free mentoring in that QR code up there, or also link in the description. And you find out about me, my LinkedIn page, and all of that. I've been around for 36 years in cyber. I've written 7 best-selling books in cyber, and you know, 6 of those books are some of the most popular books in the field. It's the Gray Hat Hacking book series. I'm the lead author of that book series. There are other authors that I brought along and some of them are better than I. But I put the team together to write that book. I'm the lead author. I named the book. I wrote a good portion of it, and that book's been around for about 20 years now, and it's been a staple of the cybersecurity industry. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking all of that experience, I'm pouring it back into you guys so that we can get the next generation of secure vibe coders out there. There's far too many people out there writing vibe coding apps, and they don't even know how to spell cybersecurity, and that is dangerous. And they are going to get hacked, and their users are going to get hurt. And so we're trying to prevent that, right? So I believe that each of you have an app inside of you, and now it's a matter of helping you get it out, but get it out securely, right? So let's go back. I know this stuff had to catch up by now while I was talking. Okay, so here's that document. Yes, go ahead and write that. Okay, so it wrote it. I can right click on it. I can say reveal and explore view, and reveal, yeah, an explorer view. There you go. Simple 2-tier. We're going to get rid of these other ones. Simple 2-tier. Let's go ahead and just scan this and make sure it did what we told it to do. Okay, replace the current JWT toggle or mode toggle with a clear security tier. Okay, and then we're going to explain that. Direct connection requires public key authentication. And then tier 2, server-side proxy with short-lived JWT tokens. Okay, good. Architectural comparison. Okay, current architecture is complex. Yes, it is. Multiple authentication flows, very confusing. New architectures, nice clear security tier selector, 2 distinct security modes. Okay, tier one security mode recommended for most users. All right, just simple PKI. Okay, it's good. It's suitable for 90% of the use cases. That's frankly what you get most of the time out there is just this, right? Our competitors are just doing this, okay? Except for one. I saw one that does have the JWT tokens, right? So we'll be up to par with them and exceed them in other areas. Okay, so this is good. Option 1, iframe method. Option 2, web component. Yes, good. Yep, they'll pass the API key. Okay. And then option 3 is using like React widgets. And so that's what that would look like. Okay, I want to make sure that I can just go in here and change it, but I want to make sure that we go in and put public API keys so that an attacker doesn't feel like they got a secret on us. Okay, because a lot of people will look at those and they'll be like, I got an API key, and they'll start banging on our server. They're just wasting their time. Okay, create a public key. Okay. Okay. Okay, embed the widget. Okay, choose the. Okay. Yep, that's all good. Tier 2, maximum security. Okay. You also get a secret key. It's never exposed to a client. Short-lived. Yeah, yep. Security level. Okay, look at this. I like this browser. I mean, I like this diagram. It's much better than the ones we've seen before. Okay, so what happens is here, let's see if I can make this a little smaller. Okay, so what happens is on the browser client, they do a widget action, which is vote, submit, etc. Okay, so what happens then is that requests a JWT token to our backend. Okay, the token gets generated here with a 5-minute expiration and it's marked as unused. That's what we told it to do. Okay, then they're going to forward that request with the JWT in the header. Okay, good. And then we're going to validate that JWT. We're going to check the signature, check the expiration, check it's not used, and then we're going to mark it as used. And then we're going to give them the response. Okay, so this is the way this thing works. Okay. Now, yeah. Okay. Now, let's see. Then that response gets relayed back to the browser with no JWT exposed or nothing really exposed. So the only thing on the browser is just its actions and the response. Okay, much cleaner. Okay, this is what the server side proxy component looks like on the user side. Okay, so this is just code here. I'm just reviewing it. I don't expect you guys to understand this. That's okay. This is vibe coding. I just want to sanity check it myself. All requests go through the user's own backend proxy. Yep. So the first thing that happens is whenever they receive this widget gets presented on the back end, it calls this backend proxy, and that's where the actual work gets done. Okay. If that proxy gets a token expired, then it retries. Okay, good. Okay, rest of the widget implementation. Okay, all right, good. Okay, and here's where that proxy looks like. Okay, here's where the secret key goes. Actually, we don't need the secret key out there. We're going to use the yep, we don't need the secret key out there. Okay, we'll change that. Only the public key needs to be out there because they're going to request with their public key, and that's actually identifying them. We keep the secret key on our server, and by the way, in the future we might let them use the secret key. Like if we open up API access ourselves, that could be like an upgrade, right? So we can offer our own API, and then which case we would let them use the secret key at that time. So I'm going to tell it to adjust this plan, but I like what I'm seeing. I really do. Here's all that 4.1 repeat stuff. Okay, here's instructions for the for the users, tier 2. Create a secret key, copy that key, never expose it to the client. Yeah, it's not necessary to give up that secret key at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of reserve it. These are just best practices for security. We only want to give out exactly what's needed. Okay. Okay, I'm liking it. It's all good. Okay, now. Okay, it's good. Now, what we do is we go back to the terminal here and we make an adjustment. All good. Okay, I got my voice working. Hey, that's a great plan, except I want to adjust one thing. There's no need to put the secret key out on the end user server because all they're going to do is identify themselves with a public key out there, and then that's going to help us identify them and generate that JWT token, which we will sign with the secret key on our side on User Vibes OS. No need to allow them to even copy that secret key at this time. Go ahead and generate it like we currently do, but just keep it in our database and do not offer a reveal or a copy of that secret key at this time. It's unnecessary. So clean up the plan and the instructions for the user. I want to see that. So, hey, movie ends. How'd you like that user or that UI that I showed you that you get for free just by installing that? Take you about probably 10 to 15 minutes. And 3Ds has already installed it. He likes it. Yeah, I like generating this secret key because I do think there's a use for it in the future, but there's no need to give it up at this point. We'll just keep it in our database. We'll use it to generate these JWT tokens and verify them when the messages come back in. But we'll just let them use their public key for that. Less keys floating out there, the better. Okay, another security principle: least privilege, least access. Dropping lots of nuggets here, guys. 36 years of experience here. I hope you guys are picking these up along the way. Just hang out with me. A lot of this cyber stuff will rub off on you. Okay. If you're looking for more, you need to move faster, you need my help in building an app, check out that free mentoring up there. I give away a lot of value in that group, but also in there, you'll find my Secure Vibe Code Masterclass. Okay. Which is really awesome. It goes into much greater depth than we can do here on these streams, and you can do it at your own pace. And then I also have mentoring groups that I can come alongside you and help you. Okay. Yeah. Check out those Claude skills, man. Yeah, they are awesome. What's cool about the Claude skills is it doesn't clog up your context window. It only like gives it the top chunk. It's called a YAML section, and it's a markdown language called YAML, and it's like a user key pair. And you'll find that in the top of of all skill files. And in fact, I'll show you what a skill file looks like. Take a look here while that thing's cooking. Okay, inside the Secure Vibe OS, Secure Vibe Coding OS, you get baked in these skills right here. So I included these security skills in the Claude folder, and you get all this authorization, like all this CSRF protection, all these security. There's like 30 of them here because they're subfiles. And here's what one of them looks like. Okay, this is called a YAML section up here, and it has like keywords in the description. And only this, only this part gets loaded into the context window, not the 1,000 lines in this file. Okay, just that top section. And what's cool about that, then when Claude sees you use one of these words like authorization or clerk or authentication, it knows then to go, it says, oh, if you watch it when it's thinking, it says, oh, I have a skill on that. Let me go load that. And it's called progressive revelation. It's really a cool thing. Okay, so let's update this plan. Okay, hey, great to hear that, 3Ds. We'll turn you guys all into cybersecurity ninjas. That's what we're here for. Now wait till we get to the testing. I got some cool stuff to show you guys. I have agents loaded up in here. If you want to go check it out, 3Ds for your project, there's some security agents in here, and the instructions are in here. You start with the orchestrator, okay, and in fact, under let's see, somewhere in here, I have instructions on how to run this thing. Yeah, check out these files right here. There's a full up security agents, and you can just basically tell it to do a security audit, and it will do all of that. And it uses SemGrep. Yep. Yep. Hey, I see the comment there, Ellie Greer. Yeah, it's that's really cool. Progressive revelation of the context window. It's better management, because right now that's the problem with MCPs. By the way, a lot of people are in love with MCPs, but man, MCPs fill up your context window, and we've already learned that once that context window gets more than halfway filled up, you're just wasting time because that thing's making errors. It's getting dumber. It's getting dumber. There's a bug in Claude Code right now where it actually overrun the context window, or I don't know how it could possibly do that, but we've seen it like just not compress. It's not compressing anymore. And I put a bug request in for that, but I don't know what's up with that. But this skills thing is the reason why I'm sticking with Claude Code. I like some of the features of Gemini and some of these other things that are coming out. There's a good tool called Anti-Gravity. There's other IDEs out there. A lot of people are using them. I also like Factory.ai. They have something called Droids. Check that out. All very cool stuff. And some of those perform better than Claude Code in many areas, but they don't have skills. And so until they do something like skills, I'm sticking with Claude Code. Okay. And there's repos out there. Go on GitHub and just search for Claude skills. And you will find repos that people have built skills and just given them away. And you can just install them. Like it's easy. By the way, skills work on Claude Code. They also work on the web client, and they work on the desktop app of Claude. So you can have skills for like making PowerPoint presentations, for using Excel documents. You can run a business with skills. You can have like an accountant skill. You can have, you see what I'm getting at? You can have like a CEO skill, right? And you can run like a whole company with agents that have skills. And you can bundle tools with those skills in the same folder, and you can build some amazing stuff. That would be like another set of streams for another day. How to take over and automate your life with Claude Code. I've started doing some of that, but I'm focused on this right now. Okay, so look, it looks like it updated that doc. Let's see it. Okay, what I want to do is just get the simple one back. Where was it? Okay, go back to my docs down here. Okay, simple 2-tier, open preview. Okay, so I just want to make sure that how that secret key exposure managed by user vibes OS. Okay, simpler support. Okay. Okay, these are the tables within Convex. You guys don't need to be too concerned about that. I'm doing it. I'm just trusting but verifying. And by the way, eventually you'll want to know these details. You would just, at this point, we would just slow down and we'd say, okay, explain to me how Convex, like how this stuff is stored in Convex, and what is Convex and how does it store its data? I want to understand. And it'll break it all down for you, but we just don't have time for that. You guys would you'd be checking out if I went down those rabbit holes. Okay, any time for me to sleep. Oh, too bad. Well, you just joined us. We'll be done here in about 20 minutes, hopefully, but I'll definitely check out your GitHub. All right, cool. All right, hey, thanks for coming, and appreciate that movie ends. All right. Okay, so now here comes the fun part. We've documented, right? Someone called that a spec. That's about the limit of what I would do for a spec. Some people commiserate over that for days or hours, and just, I don't do that. That's not me. I'm more on the vibe code end, but I do put some boundaries in place, and I try to strike a mix. I call it the Goldilocks method, right? Not too loose, not too hard, just right. Remember that when we were children? Okay, so it's the Goldilocks method of vibe coding. That's what I like. Okay, now what I tell it is, okay. All right, here we go. Okay, listen to me carefully. I want you to use ultra thinking, and I want you to implement this new, simple 2-tier security plan that we have in this new document. I want you to implement it line by line. I do not want you to miss anything. I want you to use that document and check off items as they are complete. Again, do not skip anything. Do not come back and tell me that you've completed it and you have not completed it. All right. I want you to keep working it until it is finished. And I want you to be very clear that you're implementing exactly what is in that plan and nothing else. Do not deviate from the plan. Do not add things to the plan without asking me. All right. You need to implement and stick with this plan. I understand that we already have files that are out there. You can reuse those if it makes sense, particularly like the Convex files. Reuse those. But do not reuse the other files that have been created because they are incomplete and too complex. We are going for simple here. So I want new routes. I want new files. I want new widgets that are simpler. And then what we would do after all of that is working and verified, then I will ask you to delete all of those other files, but do not do that until I tell you to. All right, go. Man, I'm so glad I got that microphone working, man. You guys are driving me, like, you'd be driving you crazy if I'm typing all that and talking. It definitely saves time. I didn't think it would save time because honestly, I've been vibe coding for more than a year here, and I've never used the voice thing. But because I'm always by myself and I like to just take my time and type it out and think and look at it. But if you can get into a flow of thought, using the voice is the way to go. And I know 3Ds is working on his own app for that. And you know, at some point, 3Ds, when you're comfortable, drop that link in, man, and let others check it out. I know he's cooking it. It may not be ready yet, but yeah, that'll be pretty cool. I'd love for you guys. We're a community, guys, so I'd like to share each other's projects as we go. Like, we're going to be at this a while. Like, it's probably going to take us, you know, a couple months to get this thing fully out to the market and start making some money. And along the way, like, we're going to pick up more people, and we're a community here, right? If you want to vibe more with me and hang out with me, like, join that free mentoring group, right? In there, I'm chatting every day with people. You can DM me in there. And also you have more access to me in there, like through my courses and also my mentoring groups. And ultimately, if you're that kind of person and you got that kind of money and you want me to come alongside you and help you personally build something, we can do that too. But I warn you, it's very expensive. So you might want to just learn how to do it on your own. And I'm cool with that too, because I don't scale and my time is very limited. That's why it's very expensive. Very, very expensive. But I don't push that much because, you know, I think people, like, I'd much rather teach you how to fish, right? So that you can go for a lifetime now and do these apps and not be dependent on me. Okay. Yep. That's great, 3Ds. See you in there. Okay. Let's see. Do you want to make this edit? Okay. Yes. And go ahead and make all edits during this session. All right. So here we go, guys. We got 12 more minutes. I'm going to have my fingers crossed here. We're going to try to end on time. We will see. We will see. If we go a few minutes over, that's okay. But my goal is to kind of rewrite all of this as quickly as we can. And, you know, I've been wrong about that a few times. So we'll see. That's the fun part of it. Keeps it interesting, right? That way it's not boring. But you guys learn either way, because, like, if it works or it doesn't work, then, like, you learn what not to do, right? And you learn how to back your way out of a corner, right? So that you never get into, like, a death spiral where you just feel hopeless, right? That's my goal for you guys, like, to get confidence with the command line so that you're never, like, intimidated, you're never worried. You get confidence over a while, you start to trust the AI to do better, and you don't have to read up on it so much. I have like 4 or 5 projects that I'm working on at a time with Claude Code, and I, you know, except on these streams, I don't read it very much. I don't have to, but I want to make sure, like, you know, this stuff's right, because we're going to market with this product, and I've gone to market with others, by the way. Many of you know I sold a 200K app recently. They want more. That's probably going to double in price by the time it's all over. I mean, seriously. And then I have another project that we're just about to sign. They wanted to probably wait until after Christmas to get started, but that's going to be 33K for 1 month's worth of work. That's the going rate, guys, to build an app, 33K. And that'll take me about 20 hours. Okay. 20 hours. Okay. I still have a day job. I still do my mentoring. I still do this at night. And I'm going to build that app for 33K that month in January. And I'm going to bank that money. And by the way, that'll just be the beginning of that project. They'll probably come back then and want more edits, and that'll be another 33K. Right? And you stack up a handful of those. I mean, what else do you need to do? Like, that's quit your job kind of money, right? So you guys could do this. That's what we're teaching here. All right. I hope to inspire you guys and not, like, hoard this information. Right. I'm going to give it all out. Right. And you guys do with it what you may. But it's my desire at this point in my career to give back. Look, I've been doing this 36 years. I've got, you know, a few more good years in me of work that I want to, you know, contribute back to the public, and that's why I do what I do online. I'm on Twitter giving away stuff all the time. I do this stream, right? And I enjoy it. It's fun hanging out with you guys, particularly when you keep coming back, like 3Ds. Hope to see some of the other guys coming back. I try to do this every night at 8 o'clock. Um, might take a break on maybe Sunday night. We'll see. I think I feel good enough to probably do this again tomorrow night, but probably take a break on Sunday night. Second week in December, I'll be off taking a cruise, my wife and I, so we won't be streaming that week. That's okay. You guys be working on your project that week, and then I'll come back and we'll finish out the year strong. I hope to launch this thing by the end of the year. I hope to start getting some paying customers in the new year. And I'm going to show you guys how we take this thing to market. I'm going to show you how we find our ideal customers and users and how we start communicating with them. There's some techniques for that, and I'll share that with you. And we'll start getting our first signups. Hell, it might be a couple of you guys signing up. Maybe not you, but the ones that come behind you. Once we get some momentum here, maybe one of you guys will be our first customer signed up in this thing, and that'd be pretty cool too. Okay. Thanks, 3Ds. Thanks, Ellie Greer. Hope I'm saying that right. Cool. Where are you guys from? I see some other people have joined us. Drop me a hello in the chat. Tell me where you're from. We're just hanging out here. We're vibe coding, and we're doing it securely. This thing is Claude Code. It's cooking right now. My daily driver is Windsurf. That's my IDE. But inside of it, I'm using Claude Code. It's specially configured. It has a bunch of skills loaded into it. It's kind of like I downloaded a lot of my brain and put it into the secure vibe coding OS that we built. And you can find that out on GitHub. You install it right here, Secure Vibe Coding OS. Just search for that on GitHub under Harper AA. It's one of my public repos. And inside of that is this, inside of that is the heart of that is these Claude skills files right here. Okay, and then also I have some agents, some security agents, so we can like do some automated security scanning. When this thing's all done, or even maybe in a couple weeks, we have something worth testing, I'm gonna let AI verify all this stuff it's been telling me it's doing. And I'll manually check some things too. But like, it's that good that I can unleash it using this tool called SEMgrep. It's SEM grep. And you install that, it's free, but they have a paid version too, but you can get by with the free. And that thing will, with these agents here, they will call, like the scanner will call SEMgrep. Okay, right here. It'll check if it's installed. If it's not, it will install it. And then it will start using it. And it's pretty freaking awesome. Okay. We are building this app called User Vibes OS. The purpose of this app is to gather vibes from the user throughout their user journey lifecycle. So while they interact with your app as a developer, whether you're a vibe coder or just a straight up developer, you need to get signals from your users throughout their journey with you. And we make it easy for them. Okay, that's our claim to fame. Now, we are focusing on the ideate block here, and that's the feature request block, because feature requests from your users are the most valuable, precious thing you have as a developer. Okay, they're far more important than your own ideas. Because you see, if you implement a feature that a user requests, then they will be a customer for life. Okay, I'm talking like 20, 30 years. Okay, they will not leave you. They will forget that they're paying you on that credit card because you implemented their feature. You put that button on that page that they asked for. Okay, precious. And that's a pro tip for you guys. Okay, I've been developing apps for a long time. Not many developers understand that. They just want to rush into their own features, and that'll get you so far. But you really want to develop what your users want and learn to do that. Far, far better. Okay, here we go. All right, so it says it's done. Now watch this trick, guys. Pro tip. Now I want you to use Ultra Thinking again, and I want you to evaluate our implementation against that simple 2-tier security plan document. And I want you to evaluate all angles, make sure we did not miss anything, and point out any issues to me that you see. Go. Okay. Okay, guys, where are you from? We have others that have joined here. Drop me a note and tell me hello and where are you from? What are you interested in? What are you building? What do you want to know? What do you want to be when you grow up? Let me know. What I want to hear is you want to be a secure vibe coder. That's what we do here, guys. We teach people to do secure vibe coding. Some people think that's an oxymoron. I'm here to prove them wrong. Okay, they can bring it. We're going to demonstrate that we can do the vibe coding, we can do it securely and not get our app hacked. Right? We're going to build one that's in the top 1 to 5% of all security apps, or as relates to security out there. By the way, there is no such thing. You can't get it better than, like, in the top 1%. And run from anyone who says that they can. Like, all we do is we make it really, really hard and expensive for a bad guy to break in. But like, if the real bad guys want you, they're getting in. Okay. If you really ticked off that type of person, like a nation state hacker, you're not keeping them out. Okay. They'll find a way in. If they have to break into your house and get in, they will get in. All right. But honestly, we can do a lot to keep most hackers out, like 99% of them. And that's all we're trying to do, right? And make ourselves a hard target so that they go pick on our competitors. Okay. All right. So here we go. Now we slow down. We read this a little bit. Okay. Evaluations is complete. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Okay. I've thoroughly evaluated the implementation against the plan document. Here's my assessment. Backend infrastructure is 80%. Now, see, I don't like that. Why did it stop? Secret key, auto generation, token generation, endpoint validations all work correctly. We're going to tell it to finish that. Critical security gap found. Most serious issue. Tier 2 security is not actually enforced. Okay, well, we're going to fix that. Okay, JW tokens are generated. Proxy sends the JWT and the authorization header. Good. But the widget endpoint ignores it and processes the request anyway. See that? Problem. Security violation. That means that anyone could just pass traffic to our endpoint and it would let it in. Now, this is what you get when you just go out there and vibe code, guys. Okay? But we know better, right? So we're going to tell it, no. No bueno. The fact that it's even like checking this hard is because of those security skills we have. Like, you're out of the box. Claude Code might have said, yeah, everything looks good. Required fixes must be fixed before any release. Yeah. Okay. Need for functionality. Okay. Create internal mutations or widgets. Okay. Yeah. Don't require API key since JWT already validated it. Yeah, that's cool. Update the V2 endpoints to use internal mutations. Okay, cool. These were medium cleanup things here. Delete the old JWT. Yeah. Switch to the simple embed instructions. Okay. All right. Proceed and make sure that you implement everything fully. Don't stop until you finish. Okay. Looks like we're not going to make it. We're at 30 seconds. That's okay. We'll go a few minutes more here. I want to test this thing. Got to finish it. You Can't stay too long. It's past 3D's bedtime. He's been kind to stay up at 4 o'clock in the morning with us for 12 days now. Crazy. I don't know if I would do that. Gotta love him though. Okay, priority 1 is complete. Just taking a look here. I'm not going to read all this. I'm just scanning it to see the comments in particular, what it did. This is how you start to pick up code, just reading the diffs. This is called a diff. The green stuff was added, the red stuff was removed, like up here. And you start to learn this stuff and you start to pick it up. And then you go, when you have time, you ask it, you say, what, you copy paste it down. You say, what does this mean? It'll tell you. Okay, so now it's going to update the voting mechanisms and all of that. This is a pretty big lift here. I'd be stunned if it actually works the first time out of the box, but we'll see. So what you've seen here is that I've gone down some paths. We've explored some things, but we're in development here. We're experimenting. Some things work, and that last one worked, but it was kind of clunky. It was not up to my standard. And by the way, you want it to be simple because it'll be easy to maintain over time. It's another pro tip. If you roll something out that's complicated, has too many steps in it, in the future when you try to fix something in it, you'll just break it even worse, and you're just causing yourself pain. So don't be afraid to like back out and tell it to do something simpler. Okay, that's time well spent. And then what we have to do is we have to clean up the old files and get rid of them. Claude's pretty good about that. Like if I hadn't told it to not delete the other ones, it would probably already be deleting those, because it's pretty cool about that. Cursor was never good at that. Like when I was using Cursor, like it was leaving stuff around all the time. It was driving me nuts. Have you seen 3Ds? Have you seen Cursor do the same thing, or have they gotten better with that? Like Cursor never seemed to clean up after itself, with me at least. It's been a year since I used it seriously, but maybe they've gotten better. Okay, a lot of convex stuff here. It's adding to the database. Okay, it's already noticing some errors and fixing it. Okay, cool. 3D said it's getting better all the time. Cool. Okay, so this is a good last step here, is checking for errors. It found some. I don't like this. It is always trying to quit on error checking. It says internal functions type errors are expected and documented. No, they're not. I want it fixed. I'll tell it to you here in a second. Looks like it's fixing many of them anyway. Fix all errors. Fix all errors. There it is. It's already deleting components. It might be deleting them because of the errors. And that's okay because we've got this thing saved like to GitHub. So if it deletes something it shouldn't have, like we can revert. I can even tell it to go look at the GitHub logs and see what was there before. That's another pro tip. I use Claude. You can use Cursor, whatever, to manage my GitHub. Now, I know the commands and all, but just let it do it. It's far better at GitHub than I'll ever be. And GitHub can get complicated. Like when you start forking and or branching and doing like merging and stuff like that, it can get pretty complicated. But it's trivial to the AI. Okay, see, it's given a toast message for JWT tokens. We don't need that. The user doesn't need to know about that. Remove any toast messages about JWT tokens. The user doesn't need to be bothered with that. Just log it. What I did was just went to my GitHub view right here just to see how many files it's working on. There's some 19 files. It's got this many line additions and 34 deletions in all of these files. And now it's removing those toast messages. Toast is a message that comes up on the screen up in the upper right hand corner usually and kind of just floats up there for a bit. That's called a toast message. You can also make them permanent sticky, like with them put an X on it so the user has to like cancel it. And I reserve that for when it's like really important. Like you really need to tell your user something, then make it like duration infinity, and then you have to expose the X. And I'll show you how to do that later. But until then, like just little simple pop-ups, they stay for 4 seconds by default. You can change that. It's a very useful library. I recommend in all apps that you guys use Toast. Okay, look here. We did a TSC check and a word count, and there's 0 findings. So all the findings are fixed. That's what we want to see. Okay, creating a final summary. I don't know what's taking so long. Now, what I typically do if I'm on my own is I'll tell it one more time. Use ultra thinking and evaluate your work against the plan. Okay. But hey, we're living vicariously here. We're living wildly. Let's just see if the thing actually works now. If it doesn't, then we'll tell it to go reevaluate the plan. Okay. So let's refresh this page. Okay, we still got our security dashboard. That's good. Okay. We have our API keys. Let's go ahead and generate a new key. Make sure that it's still, because we told it not to reveal these keys. So I don't like that. Like that was, I thought, in the plan. Okay, so maybe that's because it's the old format. Let's create a new format. Okay. Server side only. Yeah. Testing 3. And we're going to be local host 3002 is where we're coming from. Okay, we'll create the keys. Okay, see, I still don't like that it's revealing the secret key, but that's an easy fix. Somehow that didn't make it into the plan doc apparently. Okay, so we still got keys and they're still public and private. All right, we still have this one that should be working. Let's see what it did in the feature request on the boards over here in settings. Okay, let's see, where's the security settings? Okay, right here. Yeah, I'm not liking that because I told it to get rid of the enable JWT authentication. Told it to explain that in tier 1, tier 2 terms. I have the feeling it didn't implement everything we told it to. All right, so let's keep going. Let's see if the actual app works. Okay, so here we go. Okay, assuming that this is actually calling, and let's see the easiest way to figure that out. Let me go to elements and I'll click on this and let that take me to okay, hold on, let me search down here for tier 2. Okay, what I'm looking for is what that code looks like. I want to make sure it's simple and not all that complex with stuff we had before. Okay, tier 2 secured. Notifications. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be easy to tell in here. Anyway, let me, let's see. Trying to think the easiest way to verify that this thing actually updated itself. I can ask. Oh, well, here's one thing. We never implemented on the second test server. Okay, now with this new plan, implement the simple 2-tier approach on the test site A, and I'll just, to be more clear, I'll do back .. so it knows where to get it. Yeah, see, because over here, there's no file changes yet. I'm on the source control tab right here, so you'll see file changes pop in here in a second once it actually updates it. This is what our users will do. They'll actually implement this on their own end, right? This is their part. I'm going to see how simple it makes it. Yeah. You can see here it's saying that it sees that it still has the old implementation. Yeah, I know that. This needs to be updated to match. Okay, let me update the example file, remove the secret. Yeah, keep going. Okay. Yes. Okay, it's simplifying. See all this red? It's simplifying the environmental file over there because it no longer needs the secret key. See how it's red right here? It's getting rid of the secret key. It no longer needs it. Still going to keep the public key. Okay. It got rid of a lot of stuff, and that's good. We got to remember to clean up files on our server too, but that's okay. We will. I wish this part were faster, guys. Sorry. But it's a whole lot faster than writing it ourselves. Man, how boring would that be? The guys that do it out there, they write code and people watch them. Boring. I think this is where like Gemini 3 and stuff is faster. I hear that that's just rolls up the screen. I'm kind of leery of that kind of being that fast though, because I want it to think a little bit. I'd much rather just be patient. What I found with AI is that you can get faster, but that doesn't mean it's better. A lot of times it's just making up stuff. And that's when you run into problems. Here's the instructions it's given basically. Okay, come on. It's keeping notes as it goes. That's good. Like I didn't ask it to do that. It's automatically doing it. It's picking up, I think, because we asked it to do it before. It's still in the context. In a moment here, we'll see how our context is doing. Come on. All right, guys, who's still with me? Drop me a hello in the chat. Let me know you're alive. You're still awake. I haven't put you to sleep. Okay, so it says it's up now. Let's see. Okay. Assuming this is true, it wouldn't be the first time it lied to me. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Test. I have a sneaky suspicion that it didn't change some of this stuff out. Okay, failed to generate a token. All right, that's proof of life. That's proof that it did put the new code over here. Something's changed. Okay, what I'm gonna do is take that and go over here to copy. Okay, we're getting some 500 errors here. Okay, on our user vibe proxy, internal 500 errors. Okay, I am getting 500 errors over on the test site in the user vibe proxy route, and I'm getting a toast message in my app. It looks like this. It's giving us more logging. While we're at it, we're going to ask it about like that tier 2 in the settings. I'm not seeing it. I wonder if it's because we need to create a new board to see that. Let's check that real quick. Create a new project. My second app. Okay, we'll use that third key for that. Okay, that's all good. Project created. Yeah, see, look. You take a screenshot of this. And I am going to go ahead and enable that. Well, let's see, that's odd. Please select. I did select the key. All right, we got a couple of issues going on here. In the settings for the board, for the feature request board, I do not see the tier 1 and tier 2 security modes that I asked for that are in the documentation. It still talks about JWT mode. And when I try to enable that JWT mode, it comes up and says that there's no key selected, which is not true because the key is required whenever you create the board. Fix that. Look here. The new security tier component settings I created hasn't been integrated into the actual project settings page yet. Why? You just want to shake AI sometimes. But that'll get better. That'll get better, guys. Be nice to AI. They're going to be in charge someday, so you don't want to say anything too crazy to them. They got a long memory. Not really. Context windows are short. But what else are they storing on the back end that we're not aware of? No idea. No clue. Yep. Says right here, he found it. Line 17 shows it's using the old JWT settings. Like, yeah, duh. Okay, we're going to have to tell it to use Ultra Thinking again to evaluate against the plan and see what else you missed. Because I don't want to just keep troubleshooting it and finding those bugs. Okay, we got 0 errors come back. Good. It's a good sign, but not good enough. Come on. It's taking it forever to create the final summary tonight. What's going on is their back-end servers are getting slammed. That's not good. I notice it gets dumber when that's happening. Because I think they're nerfing it. We talked about that the other night. These AI models, man, these companies, they nerf it. They use a Nerf football instead of a real one. When they have to, when they get limited, like when they get slammed, they start nerfing it. Okay, they replaced the old embed instructions, added better logging. Okay, once again, use Ultra Thinking and evaluate the implementation against the plan for the simple 2-tier security plan. I want you to look at every line of that plan and make sure that we implemented that. I don't want to find other errors on my own. Yep, I agree. 3Ds. This is why you want to document your plan and you want to refer to it often, because AI does have a short memory. Like, it just moves on, and sometimes it'll lie to you. It'll say that it's done something and it didn't. Um, this is why when we do security testing, we have to do it a couple different ways. We're going to kind of like hit it from a couple directions and let it check itself. But then we're also going to use third-party tools like SimGrep, right? Because that won't lie. And the combination of those is pretty powerful. Sometimes another pro tip is to use a whole different model when you do the security testing, like fire up Gemini or whatever and tell it to do the security testing. Because then it won't have like a conflict of interest. Because sometimes I see it coming back and saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I got that wrong," or "I was incorrect." And sometimes I wonder, like, does it always do that, or does it like sometimes realize that it made a mistake and want to cover it up? It's possible, right? So, never know. The reason why I tell it to use ultra thinking is because that's a higher order level of thinking for this particular model. Each of the models have a different way that you can invoke that, and that is the highest level of thinking. It burns more tokens, but I don't care. I'm in the max plan. I'm gonna show you guys how many tokens I use. How about that? While we're waiting, I want you to see this. It's crazy. Look at this. I use this tool called CC usage. That's Claude Code usage, and it's going to download the latest version. And watch this. Okay, so for the last month, this is like the last couple months. Okay, since I've been using this max plan, which is 717. Look at this. I've used $1,200 worth of it in tokens, and this is just on the max plan, because when I was using the API, I was racking up more costs than that. So that's why I switched to max. Look here, I'm in the billion token club, which not many people are in. Like, I've used more than 1 billion tokens in 4 months. To be particular, or to be exact, I've used 1.594 billion tokens. That's crazy. So these are the cost of the model, but I don't pay all of that because I'm on the max plan, and I'm trying my best to get all of it out of it. So I pay $200 a month, and so you can see right here over the last month, I'm like at $500 worth of costs just in the last month, but I only had to pay $200 for it. Okay, so that's the value of the plan that I'm on. Your mileage may vary. Okay. Okay, it's still cooking. Okay, so JWT validation is properly implemented right now. That's good. Make that a little bigger for you guys. Okay, it's still reading the plan doc. That's good. I told it to read every line. Tired of coming back and checking up after it. It's kind of like a child in that regard. Really smart child. Okay, we're going to give it one more go here, guys. Like one more test as soon as this completes, and then we're going to call it a night. We'll finish troubleshooting tomorrow. I have the feeling we're going to be at it a while, and I don't want to pull an all-nighter here. Okay, only 3 widget endpoints exist. Yeah, I knew that. You told me that. Bloviating. Yeah, that's accurate. Okay, look here. I've performed a line-by-line verification of the implementation against results. 100% compliant. Okay, we'll see. Implementation compliance, 100%. Code quality, excellent. TypeScript error, 0. Production ready, yes. I don't know about that. Gaps found, 0. Okay, all right. Let's see what we got. I'm just checking a couple other things up here, see what it did. Okay, it did a pretty comprehensive test. Okay, I'll give it credit for that. All right, let's see. Okay, first of all, let's look at the settings page. Okay, that changed. Okay, look here. That's what we wanted to see. Nice. That's pretty good UI use. I forget who asked me that earlier. Movie Ends or something like that asked me that. Yeah, look here. It's recommended tier 1. That's what we told it in the doc. Let's go ahead and turn on tier 2. Okay. Expiration seconds, that's 300, or it's 5 minutes right there. 300 equals 5 minutes. See it right here? Okay. All right, sweet. Let's cook with this. Save those security settings. Oh. Okay, copy that error. When trying to save my security settings on the settings tab, I'm getting this convex error. Fix it. Convex isn't happy all of a sudden. See, it was cooking along good, and then it threw up on us. My second tab down here is my Convex database, and then the first one is the actual website or web server itself. And we were getting some errors there too, but that was because of the previous testing. Let's see what we got here in a second. And then down here is my actual Claude instance. Pro tip, what I like about Claude is it always shows here the actual version it's running. And if I were to start it again, it would probably increment another version. They're releasing like all day. Like they're continually releasing. Every time you start Claude, you get the latest version. Yeah, I agree with you, 3Ds. It's very good at giving itself excellent marks. But we saw as soon as we try to use it, we get an error. Like, oh, it's not perfect yet. Okay, so now it's fixing the convex projects file. Okay, it had to add some fields. How did it skip that? Goodness. Okay, says it's done. Settings. It looks like it saved it. Okay, that's good. Security settings saved successfully. That's the second one. Let's go into the first one. This is where I got twisted up yesterday. I had like bad secrets and stuff. I don't think we'll run into that issue. I guess that was that yesterday? I'm losing track. Okay, tier 2 mode. Save it. Okay, good. Now, moment of truth, guys. Uh-oh. All right. Now, let's see what happens. Testing. Okay, moment of truth. Oh. All right, that's fine. All right, we still got this failed token thing. would like it added more logs, so we can like give it these logs, but we'll troubleshoot that tomorrow. Um, I honestly don't know if it updated all of these. I don't know. The reason why I think it didn't is because what we told it was what we told it to do was if you're in tier 2 mode, don't accept anything that doesn't have a Java web token in it. And these widgets up here don't have Java web tokens in them. So I'm a little suspicious of that, and we're gonna have to like trust and verify that tomorrow. So I'll make myself some notes. And all right, so hey, here's a question here, good one. Let me put it up. Thanks for asking it, by the way. Okay. So Imond wants to know why I prefer Claude Code instead of Cursor IDE with Claude model. It's cheaper too. That's not necessarily true. If you use Claude Code on a max plan like I am, I'm capped at $200 a month, and I had never run out of those tokens. Okay, so I haven't maxed out yet. If I were to do the same on using API cost, I would be up here like in the $500 range. And although Cursor may do a little better on the pricing, they're not going to do much better. These are pricing from Anthropic. Okay, so over the last month, I've used more than $500 worth of tokens. You can see here, 230 on that day, 100 and 100. So there's 440 right there. Okay, so then you add the rest of the days. I'm up over 500, maybe even $600 in this month alone. If I were using Cursor, I'd be broke. Okay. Now, on the Cursor, though, and the other thing is, it's using the API, not the actual engine, and not the scaffolding of Claude Code. And I prefer the scaffolding of Claude Code because I figure that they could do better than somebody else using the API. I could be wrong about that. And part of that is just a matter of preference. And you guys can use whatever you like, right? And there's all these models out here. And I'm not married to Claude Code, believe it or not. Like I might sound like it, but if I demonstrate it can get something better, then I'm going to be using it. Okay. I'm definitely going to be using it. I'll be switching up, and you guys will see it. Does it include Opus? Yeah. All right, here's my story on Opus. You'll notice way back up here, I was using Opus back in August. I used the crap out of Opus. Look at these fees, man. 300, 200, 200 a day. A day, guys. $300 a day. Now, I wasn't paying that because I was on the max plan. They used to have really generous Opus limits. And I built like that 200K app, I built it all with Opus. And then lo and behold, about a month ago, they changed the plan. And oops, now I get about 1 day worth of Opus and I hit a weekly limit after 1 day. That's actually like 3 or 4 hours of coding. Bam. Like this session we did tonight, I probably would have exceeded my Opus limits. So I start complaining to them. I start like, putting tickets in and complaining. And they were like, yeah, sorry, Opus is more resource intensive. We suggest you move to Sonnet. I was like, what? Sonnet's not as good as Opus. They were like, yeah, we understand. Sorry you feel that way. We recommend you use Sonnet going forward. So they basically just jammed me into Sonnet 4.5. And yeah, that's not cool. All right. Hey, thanks, 3Ds. I got to go too. Hey, thanks for hanging out this long, guys. I will see you tomorrow. We'll pick it up right here. I'm not going to touch a thing, okay? So we'll just do a quick review tomorrow, and we'll continue debugging. See you at 8 o'clock New York time tomorrow. Hey, appreciate you guys. Be blessed. By the best. Give me a thumbs up. Like this video. Share it with all your friends. Go to the other channels. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, X, LinkedIn. Go to all of them and subscribe to me. It throws good vibes to the algorithms. They'll push me to more people. Let's grow this channel, guys. Hey, see you tomorrow.